Hello everyone and welcome to the SKL quarterfinals, our first week of playoffs. I am Silky Mittens and I am joined today by my good friends Crafty Buckeye and Ponox. Guys, how you doing?
Fantastic.
I'm doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good.
Pretty
Awesome. I'm doing pretty
excited.
good as well. We're going to get right into game one, I think, between Thunderducks and LandBeforeTime. I believe this is the number 3 and 6 seed in our playoffs. So definitely going to be a pretty hyped up series regardless of the kind of discrepancy in the ranking there. Thunderducks, I think, just squeaking into playoffs there. Or I mean, for time rather.
Yeah, just by a pretty close match on the bottom tier teams there. I mean, they just kind of pulled it ahead there last minute there, and they ended up making it into the playoffs. So we're in the first round here, quarterfinals, Thunderducks versus LandBeforeTime, and we're into picks and bans here. We have Fiora and Lulu. We did have LandBeforeTime. They did lose a ban because they did check in with a different roster than they actually ended up playing with here. They have Cletus Cassidy subbing in, so they did end up losing a ban for that. So we're going to only have 2 bans from those guys here. So they decided to go with Nar and Victor. Going to decide to ban out Panda 210 and Taeyang. Both of them very strong in those champions, so I definitely agree with those bans from them.
Yeah, and interesting to note that Kindred is actually active this week for the first time in SKL, so I'm interested to see if either team will pull that out.
Yeah, I'm not sure that people will bring it out. I haven't seen much of Kindred, to be honest, as much as like other new champions. For the first couple weeks after a new champion's release, you often see it like pretty much every game. Kindred's kind of been like not as picked as other new champions, so a little bit different there. Not an uncommon strategy to ban out not Metaphor, which is their probably strongest player on the side of Thunderducks, but to ban out instead the other 2 kind of carries on the team, Panda and Taeyang. That's usually what teams go for, and Nar and Victor probably 80% banned against this team.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do in terms of banning out Metaphor. He always seems to have an answer for it. He's a very aggressive style jungler. He likes his Rengar, he likes his Nocturne. He has a lot of other pocket picks there, so you can't really waste so many bans on him and then just enable the other lanes, because he can still go with meta champions too. We've seen him play like Elise, stuff like that. Anything that has a lot of early game pressure, as well as some great assassination potential, because he does like to have some hard dives. So it looks like they're going to take the Renekton as well as the Elise away here. Strong top laner, very good lane bully, as well as the Elise, a very strong jungler right now, one of the top tier picks for sure. And we'll see how they have to answer that.
Yeah, 2 top tier, champions in their respective roles. I think Renekton is kind of underrated. We kind of saw it from Mar and how badly it can kind of destroy the more meta champions right now. It kind of goes really good into the juggernauts like Darius, stuff like that in the top lane. So I think Renekton is super strong. I would say it's a top tier top laner at the moment.
Absolutely. Like you said, it is a very underrated kind of counter to these juggernauts. It's a very good duelist, sort of like Darius and Fiora, as well as it does have some split push potential. It can get very tanky. You can also build full damage. He has a lot of flexibility, and he has a lot of pressure with that teleport. He can really turn it around. And just with the teleport meta right now that we've seen like from the World Championships and stuff like that, it's huge which kind of top laner can answer first and make a party in the bot lane there. So hopefully we'll see that coming out quick.
Yeah, here we have a Riven and an Ashe picked up in the second rotation for the Thunderducks. Now, Riven is a champion that has only been played, I believe, on the Thunderducks by Panda 210. We've seen other teams play it in both the top lane and the mid lane, but I don't think Taeyang plays it in the mid lane. He might though, so that's still, I think, considered a flex pick.
And another thing too, Riven was actually nerfed in this patch, so she is a little bit weaker than you might have seen in the past. Still very strong though. I mean, she has very good potential there, and it definitely is a good answer for the Renekton in the top lane at least. So it does have some great dueling potential. It kind of brings the same things to the table that Renekton does. So not a bad pick at all. And we do see potentially this Ahri being taken away from Taeyang and True Rice taking that Thresh.
Looks like they're saving the counter pick for the ADC, which I'm not sure if that's exactly right to do, but True Rice is their hard carry. He does love to carry this team, but we do already see the Ashe come out, so I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, I don't think there's a problem with picking their ADC last. I think it is an absolute blessing that they're able to take away Ahri from Taeyang in the second rotation. I'm a little surprised they didn't take it first rotation. Elise, Ahri would have been good, but then that leaves counter room for Thunderducks. So for them to be able to see most of the pieces on this side of Thunderducks and be able to take away the Ahri from Taeyang, I think that's a really good option for them, and I have no problem with it at all. And then picking up Thresh, definitely something that Cletus could be able to perform on. Not a player that we see play support for this team at all throughout the season. So, playing Thresh, he's pretty much good at everything. And he's not the most difficult to play, not the most difficult to pick up, high ceiling, but kind of a low floor kind of thing. But we see the Fiddlesticks being hovered here, something we haven't seen for a while, but when we did see it, Ponox, it was quite devastating.
I mean, Fiddlesticks, Metaphor has all the options in the world right now. Every single champion in his pool is left open, except for the Elise. He decides to go with the Lee Sin, very aggressive early style jungler, so it's definitely his flavor. And we do see the LeBlanc picked up for Tiang. I do like that pick. Very strong. It has a lot of kill potential there, especially on the ADC. So we're going to see how they decide to answer that, whether they go with something safe like a Sivir, or if they decide to go with a hyper carry and try and enable it. They didn't really build a comp around the hyper carry. They don't have like a Lulu or anything in that comp there. But they do decide to go with the Tristana potentially, or maybe the Corki. Tristana, she's a very safe laner still. I mean, she does have the E to get out of there as well. She has some stealth kiting with her ultimate, so she can really get that ribbon off of her tail. Same with the Lee Sin, anything like that she needs to. So she's pretty self-sufficient, which wouldn't be the worst pick. Same with Corki. I mean, that Valkyrie is one of the best escape tools in the game. So we do have the Corki locked in here, not something we've seen in a very long time, opting to kind of have that mixed damage from the AD carry role.
Yeah, this is going to be a huge mid-game here for LandBeforeTime, having that Corki power spike after the Triforce, and Renekton mid-game, getting that 1-2 item level, and level power spike, rather, is going to make them pretty strong in this mid-game here. Elise pretty much strong at all points in the game, and then Ahri scales pretty well too, so they got their late game covered a little bit there. And then on the side of the Thunderducks, they're going towards a more kind of pick-centered composition. Not sure how well they can do in team fights. I guess they have the Ashe Initiate and the Glacial Fissure from Braum, but other than that, it's kind of like assassiny pick-style champions from them.
Yeah, I think the biggest mystery for this pick and ban phase for me was why Thunderducks felt the need to prioritize the Ashe so early on in the draft phase. I mean, it's not like that's a huge priority for them. I mean, there's still Sivir up, which Pulses plays quite a bit, and we've even seen him play a couple other champions here and there, so they definitely had a lot of options, but instead of trying to take that Ahri for Tiang, they decided to leave it open. They take the Ashe instead, and then they're forcing Tiang onto LeBlanc. Not something we've seen him play, really, so we could see a huge carry potential from him here. I mean, in the World Championships, we've seen like Bjergsen pull it out there. We've seen Febivin pull it out. It does have it's very strong right now, especially into something like Ahri. So you do have that kill pressure in the mid lane, especially he is running Ignite, it seems, as well. So he does want that, opting instead of the teleport. LeBlanc's very good at roaming, though, so she can definitely answer that, making that party in the bot lane much more threatening than usual from your other mid laners. So still a very, very scary threat coming out of that mid lane.
Yeah, this just kind of points towards the area of focus that is going to be for the Thunderducks, going Ignite in the mid lane and then having an early style jungler like Lee Sin. I can see Metaphor making a lot of trips to that mid lane, whereas on the side of the LandBeforeTime, they've got the double TP, and True Ice is one of their big carries, so they're going to be spending a lot of time in the bot lane, whereas, going for that kill pressure in the mid lane with the Ignite onto LeBlanc. Not maybe one of the less mid laners you want to take teleport on, maybe?
Yeah.
Because, you really want kills on LeBlanc. You want to snowball early, and so you can't always guarantee kills going in those big 4v4 skirmishes. She excels in the 1v1. So Ignite is something I can definitely agree with taking over teleport in this situation now that the double teleport meta is in. I
still think that this top lane will be a pretty big battle. It's going to be pretty important to see who's going to get ahead early and maybe potentially snowball with those TP plays into the bot lane to get those ADCs ahead. Not that Pulses necessarily needs to get ahead to do well, but I still think that those two lanes will play a big part still.
Yeah, these lanes, no team opted to go with the hyper carry, which we've definitely seen a lot in the meta. I mean, most teams going with like a Jinx or a Tristana, something like that, but they're going with Ashe and Corki. So, they're okay. They go into the mid game very nicely, especially the Corki, and that mixed damage is very nice, but not a lot of huge potential to carry in the late game. So you're definitely going to want to, I see a lot of mid priority as well as top priority from both teams here, just with the Renekton and the Ahri and the Riven and the LeBlanc.
After pick ban is shaping up to be a really exciting match for game one between the Thunderducks and LandBeforeTime. We're just going to play a quick ad from one of our sponsors, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back on the Rift with game one. guys, welcome back for Game 1 between the Thunder Ducks and LandBeforeTime in our first quarterfinal match of the week. We got another match tomorrow, but for tonight, on the blue side, we've got the Thunder Ducks. It is going to be Panda in the top lane playing Riven, Metaphor in the jungle playing Knockout Lee Sin, Taeyang in the mid lane playing LeBlanc, and in the bot lane, rounding it out, is Pulsis and Devmaster J playing that Amethyst Ashe and El Tigre Brom.
Yeah, and on the red side, we have LandBeforeTime. We have Calladier playing that Rune Wars Renekton, HD 300 playing that Victorious Elise, Unfriendly Panda on Ahri, True Rice and Cletus Cassidy rounding out the bot lane with some Fnatic Corki and Thresh on support. So very, very hyped up. Lots of potential with this game. Very snowbally champions we see here. So I feel like whoever's getting ahead in this early game is definitely going to snowball it out of control. But we'll have to see once we end up getting into game here.
Yeah, before, during the champ select, or the pick ban phase rather, I kind of mentioned how the Thunder Ducks team comp was kind of a pick style composition, but it's pretty much the same case on the other side of the coin here for LandBeforeTime. Renekton thrives in kind of these skirmish style fights, 2v2, 3v3, stuff like that. Elise definitely great with getting picks in her own right. Ahri, just an assassin pretty much like LeBlanc as well, and playing Thresh and Corki. You want to catch people out as much as you can too. So definitely not like huge team fighting compositions, I think, for the first time in this SKL regular season rather, that we've seen no teams kind of go towards a big wombo combo kind of great team fighting compositions. These are both two excellent pick compositions.
Yeah, I mean, with Thunder Ducks, they usually like to go that route just because Metaphor likes his Nocturne, he likes his Rengar. They like to get picks in the jungle and then take objectives off of those, which they definitely are keeping that similar style with Panda on this Riven and Metaphor on the Lee Sin and the LeBlanc coming out here. They're definitely going to want to get some picks, kind of win some small skirmishes there, and then take control after that point. But they're going to find Calladier here. The Q lands for Metaphor. They're doing quite a bit of damage right off the bat, but he's just going to slice and dice his way out of there, and he's just going to be safe. Going to have to back a little bit early on here, but some great early roams coming out of Thunder Ducks.
But the Thunder Ducks are also a team that like their team fights as well. They love to play that Gnar. They love to play Sivir. They love Ashe, especially in the bot lane. And so, like, I'm interested to see Metaphor on this Lee Sin. I don't know if we've ever seen him play it, but I like the pick a lot into this team comp, especially. But I also love the two skill matchups in the mid and the top lane. It should be huge.
It's going to be a really exciting game. I'm seeing this one going the distance. I'm calling it right now. This one's going to go to 50 minutes, and it's going to be a tight one. It's going to be a tight one for sure. I don't think we're going to see any stomps today. LandBeforeTime is a team that has dealt with inconsistency, though. After I say that, they have had times where it doesn't seem like they're all there mentally, or they're just not, they're just not themselves. They don't show up. They're just like out. They seem out of it. They don't seem like themselves some games. So it could be one of those games. But on the other side of that, we see them really show up against some top teams too, and really play well. In the first week, we saw them against Indecision, and that looked like, they're going to be one of the best teams probably in SKL. And then they come in and finish 6th as going into playoffs.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like, there are moments where they definitely show some brilliance and stuff like that in their play. It's just sometimes it seems like they're not all quite on the same page, which, especially in a 5v5 setting like SKL is, you definitely need to be, and facing teams like Thunder Ducks, very, very important to be completely coordinated. So if they can kind of get a handle on that and have some great communication, have some good roams and TP plays coming out of this Renekton and the Ahri, which they definitely have the advantage here because Ahri is running TP, LeBlanc is not. If they can kind of coordinate these things, they can definitely snowball this game out of control.
Cletus getting poked down there. The Frostbomb landing first from return poke in the bot lane, but a little bit low. The death sentence going just wide there. Gotta be careful here. Cletus, is new to this bot lane, so they can't afford to take too many risks, I don't think, against kind of these seasoned veterans of Devmaster J and Pulsis in the bot lane. Even though they're not like the true carries of the team, they still know how to handle themselves in lane, very often just going even on these kind of support style ADCs and just playing Braum and Alisar's Devmaster J style. So I think LandBeforeTime has to be careful there.
No, there's a lot of early pressure in that bot lane. Just with the Braum passive, I mean, level 1, you're going to have way more potential than a Corki or a Thresh, just because you have the slows from the Ashe as well as you have the passive there. But Calladier taking a little bit of beating here from Panda in that top lane, but looks like this bot lane is going pretty hard. Their Devmaster taking a lot. Summoner heal has to be popped. Ignite ticking away, but he's going to get out of there using the shield to back out slowly. But a lot of early pressure coming out of Thresh.
Metaphor going to find HT300 in the jungle here near the tri-bush. Calladier is there for support. It looks like HT300 is going to take the brunt of that exchange. Double buffs on both the junglers there. Already seeing a lot of kind of action in this top lane. Calladier and Panda not afraid to duke it out a little bit. Metaphor sticking around this top lane as well. The Cocoon going to land on a Metaphor, and Calladier not going in on that one just yet, even though Panda wasn't quite there. That could have been a 2v1. Now more action in the top lane, or the mid lane rather. The chain gonna land onto Unfriendly Panda and get the stun off as well. Panda taking a couple turret shots. Metaphor still here, and he's gonna catch H300 in his own jungle, and there's a lot of damage so far. The Cocoon gonna land. We're gonna go towards the bot lane though. Metaphor still chasing on the HT300 here. Doesn't have any support so far. Panda is gonna beat Calladier to the punch though, and that was probably gonna be first blood, and it is for Panda. 210 onto HT300. Not sure how Panda got the jump on Calladier there, going to support his jungler, but he did, and he's going to get first blood for it.
You see how aggressive all of these lanes are as we see action almost in every lane at one time. All at one point, and only one kill happens, and it's first blood Thunderducks. Panda picking up the kill.
This is super hyped up, and getting that kill on a Panda this early on, very important for this matchup, just because Renekton is such a lane bully. You want to make sure that you can at least get and taking a little bit of beating there. I mean, he's playing very aggressive, distorting in every chance he gets, but Panda doing a lot of damage in that top lane. We already see that getting a little bit of a mismatch there, but Renekton able to answer very well. The teleport used from the Ahri to get back to lane there. She did pick up the Negatron Cloak, probably going to go for that Abyssal Scepter right off the bat here. Get a little bit of MR for herself. Very good starting item for the Ahri, gets a pretty early spike there.
Yeah, could also be an Athene's Unholy Grail as well. A lot of Ahris like to go Morello Nomicon, but a good alternative to that is the Athene's Unholy Grail, still offering the ability power, obviously, and the cooldown reduction as well as mana, but also getting that MR on top of that is something that you definitely need, I think, in a LeBlanc lane.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, she offers just a lot of trading potential with the distortion, especially now that she's level 3. She's going to throw out the sigil, distort, go right back, and then that's a pretty good trade in her favor there, unless you can land a charm or a good Q to kind of turn that one around. But as we see here, just rinse and repeat. But Metaphor making his way to that mid lane there. Pretty low on mana on Friendly Panda. He's got to be careful here. We do see, though, the trades in the bot lane, though, as Ashe had to end up going back. She's going to pick up a pickaxe for herself, though. So a little more pressure in that bot lane, but the wave is pretty pushed up. I wouldn't be surprised if True Rice decides to go back. But the Lantern tossed out, exhaust, burn. Metaphor, though, he's waiting in the wings. The flay comes out from Cletus, and it's going to take him down. But we see the flash come out from Cletus.
That was really good play by Cletus there, but there's a lot of action in the top lane. Panda's going to go in, and he's going to get it. That Wind Slash is going to pick up the kill, the second of the game for Panda 210 on Calladier in the 1v1. And things are not looking good in the top side of the map so far. Panda being 2 kills up just 7 minutes into this one. That is not going to be good. And also up in farm as well, 45 CS to 26 CS. A good play in the bot lane just before that happened. Cletus really showing like he's played support before. Obviously probably has. But, you know, that great flay to disrupt Metaphor going in on Q there. And then nice hook, nice Lantern to disengage from that one.
HD, you got to be careful here, man.
He does have to be careful. It looks like Metaphor is going to pick up the dragon. It's really low, though. H300 is still looking for some action. The Cocoon is going to land, and Unfriendly Panda is there. See if Deadmaster can get to that, to Pulses to get away, and such is not the case. And that is going to be a kill going over to LandBeforeTime, but Thunderducks picking up a dragon off the tail end of that one. Definitely worth for them, I think, just to get their kind of snowball rolling here. One kill isn't going to be too much, but the dragon, rather, we know from previous Thunderduck games that can quickly turn into the second, third, fourth, and eventually the fifth dragon.
Absolutely. Also see here that Panda is saving that teleport. Panda, he's got to be a little bit careful. This blue buff's a little stronger than he thinks, and he goes down. I think that blue buff is 1 HP away. He just needed to get an auto attack cocoon, anything, some neurotoxin. Oh man, that is too bad.
Literally 1 HP. He walked into the out of the bush, and then the buff walked into the bush, lost vision of it, and he was like, "Oh, I need to go see it again." But boop,
Boop,
right on the head, bopped him on the head. Blue buff has more kills than 4 to 5 of the LandBeforeTime team members right now. Looks like there's going to be some action in this bot lane. Destin's landing onto Deadmaster Jade. Not sure that's the member they want. Pulsus is going to be ignited, though. The Valkyrie in. The stacks are stacked onto True Rice. There's going to be a teleport in this. Bot lane, it is going to be canceled, it looks like.
Renekton went in for the stun.
Renekton did go for the stun onto Panda, and that is going to be
Now he's
timer. Now that he teleport in, Caladir is going to try
No,
and get
that's
into this
Ari.
one. It is going to be Unfriendly Panda, going to go into this one. The flash away from Devmaster J. Metaphor is there for the backup, though. HD100 here as well. Not going to find anything there. A lot of back and forth action. Great play by Caladir to cancel that teleport, knowing he can't teleport right after because he would have got stunned up. Still having it. But Unfriendly Panda, rather, is going to teleport in the bot lane, but not finding anything there, so maybe unfortunate that he couldn't use anything there. Tae Yang going to try and find some action here. Can restore back, but is going to get stunned up. Is going to be low. The passive is popped. The Ignite onto Unfriendly Panda. Metaphor is going to follow him with the Q. 200 going to repel up in the air, trying to find Metaphor. Maybe not want it, though. Metaphor is level 6 and is going to execute him there. Tae Yang eventually going to get killed, though. Pulsis is here. True Rice is dead as well, and that is... 4 kills over to Thunderducks in this bot lane there. Metaphor picking up 3 for himself. 4 for 1. Caladir is going to... That is an ace for the Thunderducks. Panda able to pick up the kill on Caladir under his own tower there. And things went from 0 to 100 real quick.
Yeah, we were talking about snowbally champions here, and this Riven is going to get out of control. She is over double the CS, 3 kills up, sitting on a Brutalizer, probably going to back here pretty comfortably, sitting on a pretty good chunk of gold, as well as just this Lee Sin. He's going with that challenging smite, going for some damage there, the double longsword, building that into the warrior enchantment. He's definitely looking to have even more early pressure. He's going to be invading. That is his jungle now. So HD300 has to be very careful just with the team being this far ahead. So they're going to have to play safe, have some great team fighting, and get some more picks here. But as far as that bot lane kind of fight went, that was probably the best case scenario for Caladir to cancel that teleport from Panda, because if Panda would have actually finished that off, that would have turned completely different. I'm pretty sure Panda would have picked up a couple kills there himself because he had everything else up there. So very good on Caladir to recognize that, and then great from Unfriendly Panda to counter that and go teleport himself. I just wish they maybe would have committed to something a little bit more. HD300 was there. He did have Cocoon available, stuff like that. He just didn't feel like he could go in. So if they would have committed to that when they had the man advantage, that might have been where they could have at least taken a little bit ahead there.
Yeah, a little apprehensive, you might say, to pull the trigger on something. Really not sure if they should engage. They really respect, I think, the Thunderducks a lot, which you definitely should, but you also got to be willing to take those risks, or else sometimes, the other team's going to find a little opportunity and they're going to take it and they're going to go ahead. And that's what we just saw. Big 4v4 in the bot lane, and it's going to go into the favor of the Thunderducks. Looks like Metaphor is in this mid lane, and that is going to be another kill for Metaphor after that nice chain combo by Tae Yang, able to lock up the Ahri and not able to Spirit Rush away is Unfriendly Panda, and that's only going to make it even harder. This Lee Sin 4-0-2 already, and not on the member. You definitely want those kills.
Unfortunately, that charm landed on a minion there. Devmaster J taking a little bit of damage here, but he's just going to hide under tower, use the shield, hop back to Pulses, but they decided to ult in and not follow it up at all. A little bit aggressive there from Pulses, maybe some miscommunication. They thought Devmaster might have been able to follow it up with his own ultimate. Glacial Fissure is up, as well as Exhaust, so maybe if they wanted to go in on that, but that was very aggressive on Pulses' part there.
Definitely don't think that is the right member if you want to engage on. You probably want to engage on the Corki. Maybe if you think Cletus is a little bit lower, but Caladir in a little bit of trouble here. Not going to get caught out. Going to slice and dice away from that one, but that's going to be a tier 1 in the top lane for the Thunderducks. It'll be the first tower of the game going towards them. In the bot lane, Cletus, Cassidy, and True Rice are still winning this lane quite handedly. I think fights are definitely going in the way of the Corki and Thresh into Sivir and Braum. This Corki is 40 CS up and has a kill for himself, regardless of that fight that went the opposite way in the bot lane. See so much poke, and after getting that Sheen, the lane is not fun.
Yeah, once he finishes that Trinity Force, it's going to be very scary, but they're going in on the top lane here. Oh, if that Q would have landed from Metaphor, Caladir would have been a dead alligator, but he's going to be able to get away from that one. Wind Slash just hitting him at the end there, doing a tiny bit of damage, but he's going to try and back. He's all the way back in his base at his inhibitor tower, but I don't think he really can answer. They're going to be careful here. Tower might chunk him a little bit.
Unfriendly Panda and HD300 are going to be here as well. They could fight this if they wanted it, but they know that Tae Yang is in hot pursuit of that roam. Panda is pretty low. If Unfriendly Panda can get a charm onto him, it might spell the end for him. At least for like 15 seconds anyways. But that is also a tier 1 tower in the mid lane as well for Unfriendly Panda. HD300 helping out there, getting that one for themselves. So the towers are all even up here. The gold is about 3k in the side.
Wow,
goodbye. And goodbye HD300. I don't even think he connected to this one. It seems like he's at the fountain.
Hello?
Hello? Yeah, DC'd there. Something like that, but instantly gibbed by Metaphor and Taeyang. They're just the full combo from the LeBlanc, and just the two Qs from Metaphor is able to pick up that one. I'm expecting to see a lot more wards in their own jungle from LandBeforeTime. They've already got quite a few in there, but that one little brush there wasn't warded, and you wouldn't really suspect it that close to your own base to be just instantly killed like that.
Oh, Taeyang sidestepping the charm there, and he might actually go in for the kill, and he absolutely does, using the Ignite. He's just going to play that one pretty smoothly, taking it very calm. He was just sidestepping the Q, sidestepping the charm, and then ended up following it up with a full combo, and that's it. Panda, though, making his way in the bot lane. Arrow going to land, though, from Pulses, and the stun's going to follow up. They're going to change the CC. The Q lands, a Metaphor goes in, lands that one, secures it for himself. Not a KS at all.
Secured. It is a KS. Kill secured.
Yeah.
Definitely not steal, though. I'm not sure that H300 and True Rice want to stick around. The Valkyrie is available, but the Glacial Fisher is going to catch them all out. Pulse is going to get one. Panda's looking for the other. That is 5 members in the bot lane. TP coming in from Unfriendly Panda. Calladier, just kidding. True Rice is going to go down, though, eventually. Panda is going to pay for it. Metaphor is also shut down on the back end of that one. Unfriendly Panda is going to pick that one up. Now it's 3 versus 2. Panda's still alive. He actually lived on the back end of that one. The shield was enough to keep him alive, and he's going to be able to get out of this one. We kind of brushed him off like, oh, Panda's dead, but he actually lives on the back side of that one. And off screen, it is actually Metaphor that goes down to Unfriendly Panda. So a lot of action here in this bot lane. Just staying way too long. When you are looking at 5 members, you got to expect something's going to happen if you're sitting there as 2 people. H300 getting caught out immediately, and True Rice as well. Definitely excellent to flash and engage there. Excellent Glacial Fissure by Devmaster J as well. Just not we're talking about how much they respect the Thunderducks, but right there it just seems like they forgot who they were playing against for a little bit.
No, yeah, not a coordination. I mean, some like HD300 just didn't seem to be on the same page, and then Panda 210 just really showing his chops there. But Calladier going in under tower. Is he going to be able to finish up the shield? And then Panda's just dancing around him. He's going to try and knock him up. You're going to turn this one around. Calladier's got to be very careful. The shield is almost up from Panda 210. We do see Unfriendly Panda. The minion's going to take him down here.
Minions.
Yeah. Unfriendly Panda making his way to the top lane. Great roam. Calladier, though, playing with fire as Panda 210 is so far ahead, but they're going to try and take this tower. But Metaphor making his way up. I feel like they got to be careful. The Arrow making his way up from the bot lane as well. It's going to pick up Unfriendly Panda, and here comes Metaphor. He's going to go in, and he's going to land it, and he's going to pick this one up on Calladier, too, as the tower's not even down. Landing some shots there, and then the ultimate, not quite up, but the disrespect back. Holy cow, Metaphor. 7-1-5 on this Lee Sin. We were definitely saying that this champion is his flavor. He likes that early game pressure, likes the dueling potential, and that's what Lee Sin's all about. And he's really racking up the kills here and padding his KDA pretty nicely.
Since that enchanted crystal arrow came from so far,
Well, that was so nice.
the duration of the stun scales with the distance traveled. And so it seemed like
10 years,
Unfriendly
yeah.
Panda was literally there for like 5 years. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a little bit of a 1v2 in bot lane, but Metaphor is going to join Panda here. Still really low. HC300 is going to pick that one up. True Rice is going to be in trouble here. The Dragon's Rage going to kick him away, but then follow him with the Q. Devmaster J is there as well as Taeyang, and H300 is going to go down.
You flashed into the wrong bush,
Yeah,
man.
definitely in the wrong neighborhood there. Unfortunately, going right into the reinforcements for the Thunderducks. Kills are now 17-5 in the Thunderducks' favor. Just 17 minutes into this one, the gold lead now extended to 7K nearly, and the towers 4-3, Dragons 2-0. It's looking like a one-sided affair. There is still some room to come back, though, no matter the stats that I just pointed out.
Very, very aggressive here from Thunderducks. I mean, they know their strengths, they know their spikes, and they're really playing around it very well. We do see Panda 210 in the top lane. He's got some great items sitting on there. He's got the Brutalizer, he's got the Black Cleaver, picked up a Null Magic Mantle, might finish that into a Hex Drinker there, kind of try and counter this Ari's magic damage, as well as the Corki once he has the Sork Boots, he has the Trinity Force, so he's going to be doing a little bit of mixed damage himself. So picking up that Hex Drinker, not the worst thing in the world. We do see Metaphor sitting on that as well. But yeah, they're really kind of pinched into their own jungle here, slowly being forced out and choked out of their own side of the map, as they are going to run into Taeyang here, but Charm just going wide there, but Taeyang might feel like a little bit bold there and might want to go back in, and he does. He picks up the kill on Corki as the rest of the team is following up. Glacial Fisher comes out here. Metaphor going in, and he's going to land the Q onto Cletus Cassidy, but the Charm's going to land from Unfriendly Panda. They're going to follow it up. Metaphor following up. Unfriendly Panda, he's got nowhere to go. Using the Q to get the speed up, but the Q lands from Devmaster J, and with an auto attack, they're going to pick that one up.
HC300 going on down on the back end of that one too. Calladier going to be dove upon by Panda there. Still has the ultimate still ticking. Panda's going to go in, and he's going to go under tower. Not sure that he wants this one. After not picking that one up, the tower advantage was still there for Calladier. A lot of action. Panda still wanting more here. He's going to get support from his team, though. Metaphor coming in the backside of this one. Cletus Cassidy is there for Calladier if he really needs it. The hook going to land on a Metaphor, but the tower has aggroed Metaphor, so he can still get out. But there's too many members there. True Rice can help with that one, and Calladier eventually going to pick up the kill on the end of that one. Just too deep for Metaphor there, but no harm, no foul. Just one kill. In that last skirmish there, that was about, I think, a 3-for-1. Tang, the only member going down for Thunderducks, and it seemed like HC300, Unfriendly Panda going down on the skirmish as well. So just picking up the favorable trades in pretty much every single fight is the Thunderducks.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe the KDA going a little bit to Metaphor's head. He's overextending. I mean, he can't quite 1v3, but he might be getting there. We'll have to see how he decides to build. Looking for an Aegis of the Legion there, and he's going to be kind of upgrading those boots very early on. But we do see Taeyang going in, and the Kindle Lantern save him, but the Q follows up and is going to finish off HD300. Not going to be able to take that Lantern to safety. More or less just false hope getting out of that one.
Yeah, the Sigil going to chase him all the way, regardless of the Lantern. I think the Ignite was going to take him down anyways. True Rice going to go out of that one, and instantly deleted his Unfriendly Panda, and Cletus Cassidy is going to get arrowed up here. Taeyang taking a lot of damage, but he's going to distortion out of there, but going down is Cletus Cassidy, just getting caught by that arrow from Pulsis. Metaphor is going to Warthog over the wall. The flash from True Rice is going to get him to safety, and for now, did have the heal available as well. Quite getting that one. The saving grace right now for LandBeforeTime is that most of the kills, I guess, before there's a lot of kills in the last 2 minutes, but before that, pretty much all the kills were onto Metaphor, and Lee Sin is a champion that falls off late game, but when you're so far ahead as Lee Sin, like, when you fall off, it's going to be like 40-minute mark. So that's the one saving grace, is that Lee Sin not really a good scaling champion, and choosing to go the more defensive route with his build too. That early Aegis of the Legion, the Hex Drinker as well. Just prioritizing kind of team-oriented stats and builds rather than just damage or full tank for himself. And Calladier and Panda are going to fight here near Baron Pit. Calladier can hop over the wall. HC300 is there. Maybe going to bait him as best he can. Taeyang going to find Unfriendly Panda. He's going to get stunned up by the chain there, but does have the other two charges of Spear Rush available to get away from that one. Panda still looking for more. The Cocoon going to land. Taeyang over the wall, though. Going to land the chain onto HC300. Going to repel up in the air. Not going to get stunned down, but going to go over to the Krugs. And Panda, knowing what's coming next, going to go over the wall, chase him, and pick up the kill. Excellent play by him there.
Wow, yeah, just a lot of action here. They're just getting caught out one by one here. I can see a Baron definitely coming up here. There's not a lot that LandBeforeTime can do to contest this Baron either. I mean, with HD 300 being down for another 10 seconds here, the amount of damage they can put down on it just because they're so far ahead, not really much of an answer unless Corky can pull a Piglet and just rock it in there to take the Baron, but don't really see that coming out. Baron cured from Metaphor, and they're just going to hop out of that one, try and take down True Rice here. As the arrow comes in, the Qs are landing, and damage is being dealt.
Calladier going to be tossed into the middle of this fight. There's a double kill for Panda so far. Unfriendly Panda going to go down as well as Cletus Cassidy. They're going to try and chase Calladier now. Taeyang is really low and out of mana, and probably not going to want to stay around too much, or it's going to cost him his life. It's going to cost him the flash so far. Pulse is also going to find True Rice on the back end of this one. The heal being used by Pulses, and they're going to catch up Calladier. Taeyang is going to live out of this one. The Cocoon going to land onto Panda, try and dissuade any further action, but True Rice is low. I don't think he has Valkyrie up. And the Chilling Smite onto Panda. They're going to try and turn this one. The Valkyrie is available. He's going to go the opposite way, and the Wind Slash is going to get him. And he's going to get away from this one. He's going to use his dash to get away from that one. The shield going to bulk up some damage from the minions. And just really turning that one. I'm not sure you want to Valk that way. Even if he didn't get caught up by the Riven there, the rest of the Thunderducks were following. Getting a little bit selfish there, trying to turn that one around onto Panda. But Riven's tricky and really hard to catch sometimes.
Not long ago, Panda 210 was 4-2-4, and now he's just mysteriously gotten to 10-2-4. Very, very fed Riven sitting on that Tiamat Brutalizer, but the flash from Cletus Cassidy trying to be a little bit cheeky there, and probably not going to get away from this one as Metaphor is hot on his tail, and Panda just going to try and take this one pretty quick. We see Metaphor doing a cheat back as well again. Just wanted to get the assist, pad that KDA a little bit more, but HD300, he's getting caught out pretty hard here. Forced a flash, but still getting caught out from the double distortion. But the Sigil and the Chain are going to catch him on the tail end of that one. Panda 210 trying to just, set up a play here as they're going to go onto this tier 2 turret. Maybe looking to dive the 3 of them here as they're, proxying the wave a little bit. But it looks like they might just rotate into that mid lane, try and pick that inhibitor tower up and, crack open the base finally.
I'm not sure what Cletus Cassidy was doing all the way up there. That Enchanto Cristolero sailing wide. The field goal is good. The kick back, but he's going to Valkyrie out of that one. Metaphor is deep in the base now. All the members are. Panda is pretty low, so is Metaphor. Calladier is there. Deadmaster J in the middle of things. And the Q over the wall is going to land for Metaphor. He's going to pick up True Rice in that tail end of this one. Calladier going to go down as well. Taeyang is there. That's all 5 members of Thunderducks thick in the base of Land Before Time, and all the members are going to drop like flies. 6300 is the only member alive for the team. He is full health, but he can't do much against this 5-man squad of Thunderducks. They're going to charge in the base here. They got the Baroned up minions. They're going to be able to take a couple objectives here in the base.
Yeah, I have probably just going to pick up the win here. I mean, there's still a couple members down. They're going to take the second tower, and then they're just going to,
it's going to be
finish
close.
off the game. No, it's over.
Home guards, anything? No, not quite enough.
It's done.
Not quite enough there, and that is
34 to 8.
That is going to be game 1. I was saying that this one was going to go the distance, and how I was proven wrong.
Well, I mean, we were also talking about how it was they're very snowbally champions either way with the Riven on the one side, and we do see the Renekton on the other side there. So kind of whichever one could get ahead, and it just happened to be Panda 210. And he handled it very well, was able to kind of duel that Renekton whenever he very well pleased and won very convincingly in that lane. I'd say the one shining star, though, that really pulled Land Before Time out was the bot lane there. That Corki did some major work. He was ahead, like 40 CS there right off the bat. He was doing a lot of work, but then, I mean, they came to the bot lane, things went awry, and then they got dove on their tower there, and then, yeah, it's really spelled some trouble there. But as far as that goes, if they can really enable that bot lane, maybe put them onto a hyper carry, something that can scale a little bit better in the game, have a little bit of self-peel to get the Riven off of them, something like that, then they may have a little more of a chance. But the other lanes also do need to, kind of
pull their weight.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't 100% depend on that one guy.
Yeah, that bot lane is a lane we expect the Land Before Time to win probably 9 times out of 10. Just the kind of champions that Pulseless likes to play are not champions that can carry out of the bot lane. Alistar and Braum do have a little bit of skirmish potential, but not the most, especially when paired with just the Nash. Going against things like the champions that True Rice likes to play, like Jinx, Vayne, whatever. Great duelists and great carry ADCs. So that's a lane we definitely expect Land Before Time to kind of pull ahead.
Yeah.
But it's up to the rest of the map to kind of stick with the Thunderducks, and they just weren't able to. It seemed like they were okay for the first couple minutes there, and then just that one big skirmish in the bot side jungle near Land Before Time's blue buff. There was a 4 for... Yeah. It was a 4 for 1 in that area, and then on the top side of the map, Calladier getting 1v1 solo by Panda. It just got from there. I think that was the TSN turning point of the game that really started the TSM confirmed. TSM Metaphor confirmed. No, but that was the little snowball that really turned into a big snowball right there, and it just didn't stop.
No, it didn't.
We were also saying, though, that Land Before Time, they do show their moments of brilliance. There was a point in the early game there where we saw, who was it? Unfriendly Panda, he teleported into the bot lane, and then Calladier canceled Panda 210's teleport. And if they would have just committed, all been on the same page and really engaged onto a singular target, I feel like they really could have picked up some kills there in the early game, got that Ahri ahead, and then she would have been able to handle herself against Taeyang in that lane and really start doing some great roaming, maybe going up, getting some, helping out Renekton in the top lane. Just a little more pressure there, because I definitely feel like that's a pretty big mismatch there, Calladier into Panda 210. So if they can balance that out with a little bit of pressure going towards the top lane, then they might be able to, kind of feed off of that.
Right. After pick ban, we were kind of saying how these comps were very similar in the kind of style. They like skirmish kind of pick comps. And obviously, it was the Thunderducks pulling ahead out of that game, with the similar compositions. So do you expect Land Before Time to be switching up their composition going to the next game, or do you think it was just kind of an execution thing and that they should stick with the same kind of composition?
I'm not sure. I'd like them to. They're on red side again for game 2, so I'm not sure if they can prioritize, like, say, a Gnar and really go with that team fight kind of comp, because I would assume Thunderducks would first pick if left up.
Right.
But I'm not really sure what other kind of comp they have pulled out. They could really go with like a protect the AD carry comp, give it all in True Rice this time, like with a Lulu mid or like something else, but or an Oriana, say, and give them that Jinx or Tristana.
Right.
That's something I'd like to see probably come out from LBT.
I think there's two options when you're going against the Thunder Ducks. Is either you pick something that's really strong in lane so that they don't get a chance to try and get as heavy as a snowball out of lane phase, or you go against, or you pick something that's easy to execute and something that always has a chance to come back. And so something that always has a chance to come back is like a Wombo combo kind of composition, like the Orion and Gnar, or something like that can just turn a team fight no matter how far behind you are. And we kind of saw that first style come out where they had strong laners. So definitely going to be interesting to see what they go for. But I think we're going to take a little break here, take a little breather, Ponox.
Yeah, guys, we're going to be right back with Game 2 of Land Before Time versus Thunder Ducks. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right